Certainly live.
Yes, we are.
I just seen the green bar.
Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to R&R The Raj and Rich Show. I'm Raj.
And I'm Rich.
He wishes.
I do.
So, it's been about, what, 3 weeks since we had a show?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
We did the Gamers Presents show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did Gamers Presents, but we didn't do R&R.
No, we haven't done R&R in a while.
We haven't done R&R in a while. Alright, so,
Life has spun us around in circles in the last couple days.
Yes, it really has.
Yeah. So,
well, while he goes ahead and situates himself from his drone box.
Right, my drone. Because, the government, got to do what we can do to help the government out with spying on people.
The government.
So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the show. Oh, wow, it's been interesting, to say the least.
To say the least.
There's been a lot of news that has gone on.
Since we were last on.
Yes, lots of things. I mean, what we're going to cover tonight is more recent in the news. It's not going too far back.
Correct.
Because some people, and I know some of our fans, their attention span is a little short.
Just a little bit.
So if we try to cover anything too far back,
Yeah, then they're just going to go ahead and get lost. So we'll go ahead and try and keep this as savvy as possible.
Yes, absolutely. And we kind of have a new person in the studio. Well, not really person. We
Correct.
have a new addition.
We have a mascot.
We have a mascot. We do have a mascot. The Porgs have invaded our show. Right. Yep. Porgs have invaded the show now. And also, we have advice. We have an advisory, just in case there's something that comes up and Kill Mill and those are not there to correct us on our actions. We can also always ask Alexa.
Yes.
How are you doing? Maybe. Alexa, how are you doing? I think she's mad at me.
Most likely.
Oh.
Alexa, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent. Thanks for asking.
See, there you go. So now we have that too. So that way if somebody tries to fact check us or say, no, I don't think you guys are right, we can turn around and we can ask.
Boom.
There you go. So, we're trying to move with the modern times and technology.
Yes, we are. So we can go ahead and make this show a little bit more interesting.
Or maybe a little more professional, by the way. Hey, to our girl out there in at the cigarette shop.
Oh, Janine.
To Janine.
Or Special Edna.
Or Special Edna, whatever.
Yeah, I actually ran into her the other day because I went to go ahead and get you a carton of smokes.
Yeah.
Because you ran out. And I was like, hey, this would be nice, go ahead and help him out and everything like that because he's been stressed. And sure enough, Janine was in there. And
she watched our show.
She watched our show that same day when we did our first one here in Mississippi.
Yep.
And she goes, oh my God, because we said her name. Her roommate goes, holy shit.
They know you.
They said your name.
Yeah.
You're famous. So
there you go. And to the two girls at Best Buy.
Yes, the two girls at Best Buy that we met today when we purchased Alexa.
Absolutely. So there you go.
And then of course, we got the people over there at No Smoke About It, Just Vape, off Deado and 49 right next to the Winn-Dixie.
Yes.
I went in there, talked about the show and everything like that, and one of the guys in there really cool. He goes, hey, what's it called? And he, sure enough, subscribed right then and there.
There you go. So, all right. And none of these people are paying us.
No, none of them are paying us.
None of them are paying us. We're just giving a shout out to these people because they've taken care of us or they've been real cool with us. So there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with the news. That's right. So, folks, today, big thing came out in the news today. Big thing.
Huge thing.
Yeah.
Which has to do with some of our Asian counterparts.
On the other side of the creek.
Yes.
Over there in the Korean Peninsula. We're speaking of the North Koreans now. The Kim Jong Il's dad. He's dead. Okay. Kim Jong Un has announced that they're going to suspend their nuclear research program and they're going to shut down one of their facilities and come to the table to talk. with the United States. Now, I will tell you from experience with being in the news, being a part of the media, usually anything Korea says, I kind of have the, Ronald Reagan approach, trust but verify kind of thing. Like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Now let's make sure that's what you're doing.
The buck stops here.
But this is the first time that Un himself has come out and said, okay, it didn't come from their PR people.
No, it came from Un.
Un himself stated that they're going to suspend the program and come to the conversation and discuss things because we've put the screws to him enough to where he's taking us seriously. Before he thought, well, nobody's going to do anything, and and so now it's at least he's considering it.
Yeah, and speaking from personal experience, when I was actually stationed in Korea back in 2010, when everything went to crap.
Yeah.
But usually the way that North Korea takes these kinds of things is that they'll go ahead, settle down for a few months. Okay, yeah, we'll play nice, and then they'll go ahead and jump right back on the train.
I get that, but like I said, the difference in this situation is the last time that they came out and said they were going to calm down and they were going to play by the rules, it was the PR girl. They had this girl that she's their PR spinner.
Yeah.
And she was the one who said it last time. This time it was actually Kim Jong-un himself that said it.
And a lot of people are trying to figure out why it is that Un himself is actually coming out and saying this.
Well, and the problem is he's got a lot of heat because his people are starving. Okay, his people are starving. They're running out. They're out of money.
Yeah.
He's spent you've got to understand the state of New York has a bigger budget, than the entire monetary, all the money that North Korea has, the state of New York actually generates more money
per month
than the entire nation of North Korea. Okay, so so it's a huge difference. And spending research on a nuclear program takes a lot of money. It is not cheap.
Very big chunk.
Okay, the United States, just to get to where it could launch intercontinental ballistic missiles, took several billions of dollars.
And
that was back in the late 50s, early 60s when they were researching with the Manhattan Project. Okay, It still took several billion dollars to do this. Okay, and that was back then. Imagine what it is now. We're talking close to $1 trillion to get a nuclear program off the ground.
Yeah.
They don't make that. That is beyond their budget. So of course they don't have money, and then we're putting sanctions on them. And we've been stopping a lot of things from going into the country. Mm-hmm. Of course, we've reported on a lot of those things where they've been caught.
Yes, we have.
So now they don't have a choice.
They don't.
They're running out. They're running out of options. So either one, they're going to have to launch a nuclear missile and make a place glow in the dark, or they've got to come to the table and say, okay, we need to have a conversation.
It's not just that they ceased their nuclear testing and their research. They actually shut down their biggest production facility of nuclear testing and nuclear building materials.
However, to check with that, this is also the facility got damaged when they did their hydrogen bomb test.
Yes, they did. So, it could be that they are just playing by the book right now and saying, okay, we'll back off just so they can go ahead and rebuild the shit.
Now, like I said, it's a good thing that Un has come out and said this himself, which means it carries some weight.
Yes.
Okay, so we see where it goes from there. I will have to say that we've had several presidents that have tried this and failed miserably. That now something's happening. So I'd have to say, even those of you who dislike the guy that's currently in charge, the thing is, now Un himself is actually, engaged and conversating.
And it's all because Trump is playing hardball with him.
Yeah, not to mention the fact the guy that he's promoted or he's nominated for the Secretary of State.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, has also he's been involved in a lot of negotiating with the Koreans.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's been a lot of moving parts to this under the Trump administration.
Yeah. In case you don't know who it is that's being opted for promotion from where he's at now to the Secretary of State, is actually the current director of the CIA.
Which is who?
I forgot.
Alexa, who is the current director of the CIA?
The director of the CIA is Gina Haspel.
That is not the right answer. Okay. Alexa, who is the new nominee for the Secretary of State?
Here's something I found on Wikipedia. The electoral history of John Kerry, United States
Okay, Alexa,
Secretary of
stop.
State.
Never mind. Alexa's a little behind on this.
Just a little bit.
Anyway, if anybody that's listening to the show wants to chime in the chat room, who it is, because we're drawing a blank effect, I can just...
Hey, what about this? Alexa, who was the previous director of the CIA?
The former director of the Central Intelligence Agency was Miro Park.
Never mind. That's not it.
No, that is not it.
No. It's okay. Apparently Alexa's just as dumb as we are.
Yeah, Alexa's...
We have proved this. Shh. She's listening.
Starting Bluetooth.
Alexa, stop. Okay, we're learning. We're learning.
We just got this new toy today.
We,
so
we
shush.
just got it. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up real quick because I don't want us to sound like idiots, even though we already are.
We are some pretty big idiots. We're also nerds too, so it actually works out.
Yeah. So you know so go ahead and talk.
So talk. Anyways, so the biggest thing is, besides Trump going in and pressuring Kim Jong-un to go ahead and
Pompeo.
stop. Pompeo.
Yes.
That's right, Pompeo.
Yes. Pompeo is the one that has been that CIA director. It says CIA director Mike Pompeo, so she's a little off.
She's off.
Okay. So anyway, Mike Pompeo is the one that's been doing. He's also been doing a lot of talk with the Koreans and stuff like that, and so him coming up as a Secretary of State also helps out in this situation.
Yes, it does. Since he already has, the tenure to
Yes.
go with it, so he knows how to deal with them.
Yeah, he does. So there you go.
Yeah, but honestly, what I truly think, and I actually told this to you earlier, that I think it's Kim Jong-un is afraid of our Secretary of Defense, General Mad Dog Mattis.
And it's possible somebody over there said, dude, you don't want to screw with that guy.
Yeah, because he will kill you with a fucking knife hand just pointing at you.
Yeah, he will. He you know what, G.I. Joe, the big selling point of G.I. Joe action figures comes complete with Kung Fu grip.
Yes.
They modeled that after Mad Dog Mattis.
Yes, they
That man
did.
has a Kung Fu grip.
He really does. I
Okay.
shook his hand.
Yeah, so there you go. If you've ever shaken that man's hand, you as long as he likes you, you come back with a hand. If he doesn't like you, you're coming back with a stump. Okay, and of course, we love Mad Dog Mattis. I mean, we're two veterans.
Yes.
So, regardless of who nominated him to wear whatever, even before he was ever nominated, Mad Dog Mattis was a guy like, man, if I would have joined, if I would have been cool, even though I was in the Army, if somebody said, hey, you're going to go work for Mad Dog Mattis. I'm okay with this.
Yes, even though he's a Marine.
Before any of this, so I've been a fan of Mad Dog Mattis for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, so even I worked for Betrayus at one point.
Yeah.
And Betrayus loved him. Said that if more generals modeled themselves after him in the battlefield, in the theater, we would not have the issues we have today.
We love us some Mattis.
So there we go.
All right, so now, speaking of Trump.
Yes.
So apparently, the Democratic National Committee is suing Trump, Russia, and WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks. Yeah,
WikiLeaks.
Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Democrats have decided they can't make collusion stick.
They can't.
They can't. Okay? And this is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of fact. Okay? Every time the Justice Department has come out with a memo or come out with some statement They have stated over and over and over again there is no collusion.
Correct.
And in fact, the Justice Department is looking at pressing charges against the former FBI director,
James Comey.
Yep, and then his assistant prosecutor,
because he released 6 memorandums,
and he lied under oath in a congressional hearing.
Yep, which had leaked classified information.
Yes. So anyway, so they can't make it stick. Okay, they've come out and said every time there is no collusion. And the problem is everybody's so invested in the collusion, and it's not there. So now, and they've even been investigating Trump back well before he even mentioned running for president.
Yes.
Even when he was a registered Democrat, they can't find anything there.
So the biggest thing, the whole reason why the DNC is trying to go ahead and sue Trump, Russia, and WikiLeaks is as they're saying that the Russian hackers that went ahead and released all this information, you know, and Julian Assange to WikiLeaks and everything like that. About
they gave the stuff to the Julian Assange, who Julian Assange through WikiLeaks then released it publicly.
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that it was the Trump party while they were running that backed all this. So it made them lose money trying to fight it. So they're trying to get that money back.
Yeah, and basically what they're trying to say is that there wasn't collusion to get him elected, but yet there was collusion to get him elected. Is basically what the lawsuit is.
I'm going to be a nonconformist by conforming with a nonconformist.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is. So now they're taking it civil because legally they can't get him.
Correct.
It's the same thing like OJ. When OJ was found not guilty of murder, what did the Goldman family do? They sued him in civil court and won.
Yep.
Okay, because they didn't get him legally, now they're going to sue. So the DNC is now doing the same thing. They can't get Trump legally. They can't get any of them legally because there's nothing that they've done illegal.
Correct.
So now we're going to sue them.
Honestly, they're just a bunch of fucking sore losers.
Well, the thing is, the bad part about it is they said, well, it screwed up their getting their person elected. However, the Democrats are responsible for screwing with the election to keep Bernie Sanders from getting nominated.
Correct.
So it's like the pot calling the kettle black in this situation.
Yep.
Okay? They screwed with their own election to keep Bernie Sanders from getting nominated, who had the best chance of beating Trump.
Mm-hmm.
To get Hillary nominated. Now they're mad at the Trump campaign, the Republican National Committee. They're upset with the Russians and WikiLeaks because they somehow rigged the election so where Hillary couldn't get elected, even though they're guilty of doing it themselves. So when is Bernie Sanders and his group going to sue the DNC for them rigging the election? Because it's the same thing.
It is. It really is.
You know, and on a civil matter, all civil is a matter of opinion. We think you screwed us over, so we're going to sue you. So why doesn't he do the same thing is what my question is on that is because based off of what the DNC claims is their definition of all this, is the same thing they did to Bernie Sanders.
Honestly, I think it would be awesome if they go ahead and try and take this to court and everything like that. Well, when they go ahead and take it to court because they already filed the suit, they should have Trey Gowdy preside over it.
Oh, God. You want to talk about a guy that he's just going to look at somebody and go, why are we even here?
Because he done it.
Because he did it to that one chick that represented, what, the FBI?
The FBI.
Yeah, when he goes in there and says, do you know what this is? Well, I don't have the information in front of me. Do you know what that is? I don't have the information in front of me. Why are you even here?
What do you know?
What do you know? What do you do? So, I mean, and that's where we're at in this situation. It's a frivolous lawsuit. By the way, folks, those of you watching on YouTube right now, you know we do have a chat room, and you can go ahead and get into the chat room and conversate.
Yes.
You really can. I need to catch an eye, because some people over here don't.
Unless those three that are watching is Sherry and her four
different devices.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
Yeah,
so anyway, so that's what's going on with that. Nope.
Hey, Kill Mill.
Hey, Kill Mill.
There he is.
All right, so yeah, so that's what's going on with the DNC. So we don't the DNC, and then somebody broke it down today. So basically, what's happening now is it seems like a extreme stunt as a fundraiser.
Yeah.
You know, hoping that one of the groups will just go ahead and settle out of court so they make a bunch of money off of it.
Yeah.
And I really hope they don't. Julian Assange won't. He doesn't.
He's like
he gives no fucks. He really doesn't. Julian Assange doesn't care. Okay,
yes.
and Russia's just gonna be like, ha ha, comrade, you funny. Okay, so no. So there we go.
Yeah. Now moving on to other presidential matters.
Yes, unfortunately, this week we had a bad week for people kicking the bucket.
We did. We had a really bad week.
And then the day just capped it off.
It really did. So, speaking of presidential, deaths and everything like that, we did lose
former First Lady Barbara Bush, who was known as the mother and grandmother of the nation.
Yes.
She was a woman who she was very stern, but very caring. She was very elegant. She was very truthful. She did not mince words.
No.
She really didn't. She said what she felt, but she was a very caring woman.
I mean, hell, even at the time when it was completely taboo to even talk about it, she was an advocate for AIDS awareness.
She was an advocate for AIDS awareness. She brought a lot of women's issues to the forefront.
She really
which
did.
She never really got credit for.
No.
But she was very elegant. She was very well known. One of her trademark looks was the blue dress, the pearls,
yes.
and the white hair.
And the whole reason why she wore pearls is because she wanted to hide her neck wrinkles.
She did. She did not want people to see the neck wrinkles, but when her hair turned white, she let it turn white.
Yeah, she didn't dye it. She didn't do anything. She goes, hey, it's natural.
Yep. But she was laid to rest today in Houston, Texas.
Yes, she was.
A lot of people were there.
To include 4 former presidents.
Yes. And, of course, you had a lot of former first wives.
Of course.
You had children of presidents. Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter was there. Richard Nixon's daughters were there.
Melania Trump was there,
Melania Trump went. Right now I think Trump is currently entertaining, I think what is it, the Emperor of China?
Yes.
Okay, so right now he's currently entertaining. Yeah. That's why he could not be there.
Correct.
But Melania did go. Hillary Clinton's daughter went.
Yeah, Chelsea. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently Melania was actually planning on having a dinner with Barbara Bush in the White House. So that way she can go ahead and talk about raising kids in the White House itself.
Yeah, to find out what what all is involved, because it's a very difficult thing when you think about it. Everybody wants to make all the comments they want about the presidency.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to say everything they can, but then when you have children involved,
yes,
that world's got to be just insane for a child to have to deal with.
Yes.
And that was one of the things. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Correct. And it was a few weeks away, too.
Yeah, it was a few weeks. It was going to be in a couple weeks. But, we said goodbye to her. We also said goodbye to Drill Sergeant Hartman.
Before we get into that, because this does have to deal with, the late Barbara Bush, apparently there is a professor.
There's a San Diego. Is it San Diego State?
No, it's. I don't think it's San Diego. I think it's Santa Barbara or Santa Cruz.
No,
it's in California.
Santa Cruz doesn't have a university.
Yes, they do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, their mascot's banana slugs. My uncle used to teach there.
Oh, okay. So anyway, yeah, she's currently suspended, and they're now discussing firing her because everybody's like, well, she could say whatever she wanted and she can't get fired.
Yeah.
Because the 10-year. No, the dean came out and said, oh no, we can fire this person.
So in case you don't know what's going on, this professor at one of the prestigious universities in California has stated after Barbara Bush had passed away,
she actually celebrated
her death.
She was happy,
saying that she was a racist. Barbara Bush was a racist.
Barbara Bush was not a racist.
No, she was not.
Not by any means.
And not only was she celebrating her death and calling her racist, she didn't do it in her own home or in private or amongst friends. She did it while she was teaching a lecture
Yeah.
in class.
Yeah, in fact, when the news broke during her class, she suddenly broke out into cheers, and everybody was trying to figure out what's going on, and it's the thing is okay, even the liberal donors for that university has even said, if she's still employed by your university, we are no longer going to donate money to you.
And that's a huge thing for schools.
Yes. So we don't expect to see her teaching there much longer.
Hell no.
By the end of this upcoming week, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be in the news that she was fired. But now we know the moment they do, CNN this is purely opinion here. CNN is going to make a martyr out of her.
Most likely.
But anyway, like I said, it's been a rough week for celebrities.
It really has.
Fresno
State University.
Fresno State University. Okay, so that's the one that brought UNR bowl run while Colin Kaepernick was their quarterback at UNR. Fresno State brought the end of that.
Yeah. So other celebrity deaths that actually happened this week, and it's just been crazy.
We lost Drill Sergeant Hartman.
Yes, Arlie Ermy. We also lost Mitzi Shore.
Yeah.
She is a stand-up comedian who also founded the Comedy Store in 1978.
Yes.
In Hollywood, and it's a huge thing. I don't even know what that says.
It says Rhonda Jerrier.
I don't know.
We let's see who we lost a few.
We lost Harry Anderson.
Yes. Lost Harry Anderson. You might want to explain to them who Harry Anderson is.
That was damn, I forgot the show.
Should we ask?
Yes. Alexa, who is Harry Anderson?
Harry Laverne Anderson was an American actor, comedian, and magician.
So there you go.
Yes. Alexa, what iconic role did Harry Anderson play?
I'm not sure.
You bitch.
Night Court.
Night Court, that's what it was.
He was a judge.
Yeah.
He was a judge.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I knew.
Oh, Rhonda Jerrier is the name of the professor that celebrated Barbara Bush's death.
Okay. Well.
Okay. So now we know. Okay.
We also lost Mini Me.
Yes,
that
we
was
lost
today.
Vern Troyer today.
Today.
He was 49.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty long for a dwarf.
Yeah, and we're not making light of that. It's legitimately. Mini Me passed away today.
Mini Me passed away today.
Who was another one we just lost? What, yesterday or day
DJ
before?
Avicii.
Oh, DJ Avicii. A lot of you guys are familiar with Skrillex's Levels. Avicii collaborated with Skrillex on that.
Yes.
Avicii was only 28 years old.
Yes.
And died. And it still hasn't come out but he's been dealing with a lot of health problems. He had his gallbladder and his pancreas just removed recently. So he's been dealing with a lot of health issues, and I'm pretty certain it probably had something to do related to that.
Most likely.
Just it's been a bad week
Really
because
has.
it usually goes in threes. There's usually three major ones.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen with three.
This time we had like six or seven.
Yeah.
In a span of 5 days. So it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kill Mill Mini Me has passed away today.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just lets you know that maybe some of us are just getting to that age where some of our favorite actors are starting to go, but some of them ain't going because of old age.
No.
It's just minor or regular, not regular, but health reasons for just coming up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, those things happen.
Yeah. So moving on.
Yeah, let's move on from sad topics.
Yeah. Well, so this one is a little more boils your blood because of something that happened.
Oh, damn it! Take Bowie, then take Gunny. Now they take Mini Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So apparently, Syracuse University expelled Theta Tau fraternity over a video of racism and anti-Semitism during a frat initiation party.
Okay, explain this.
So apparently what was going on, they were doing, like obscene gestures and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a pledgee for Theta Tau who was on his knees, and then you went ahead and had, the head of the house, was talking shit and everything like that. You had a can of beer right on his junk. It's like, before you go ahead and pledge yourself to blah, 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 you have to take this, suck it, and say fuck the N-word.
Okay.
And then you had somebody in the background screaming slang terms for, Jews. That
sounds like a bunch of racist assholes.
Yeah, it literally boiled over. And because this happened, in the whole, fraternity row of Syracuse University, the video popped up because somebody actually did it, and the dean of the school was like, no, we are not going to deal with this.
Hell no. I mean, I realize that some things have been in this world now have been taken as saying it's racist or something like that, and it's a stretch to say that it's racism.
But this actually was racism.
saying fuck and the N-word and making anti-Semitic jokes and everything. No, that shit's fucking racist. Period. And you're an asshat, and you don't need to. You don't need to be in the gene pool anymore. Let alone, you don't need to be. You just shut it down.
They literally have no class, no fucking upbringing. So do you know what this brings us to? Bait your kids, save a life.
Yeah, really. Don't do stupid shit.
Exactly.
And that's just dumb.
So, speaking of dumb shit.
Oh yeah, this is ridiculous.
So apparently we heard on the news.
We heard on the news this morning. We heard this morning on the news, and we couldn't believe it when we first heard it. Evidently, there's something now that's come out that's now no longer acceptable, folks.
Apparently, the term best friend
is no longer allowed because it's exclusionary.
Well, allowed in schools in the U.S. and Europe.
Yeah, but that's where it begins. That becomes a societal thing.
Exactly. So the reason why they're saying, oh, well, you can't use the term best friend anymore is because it brings about, this unspoken hierarchy between the students.
Well, and it doesn't include, it's exclude.
It's exclusive.
It's exclusionary that now not everybody can be best friends with you. By you saying you're best friends with one person, you've now excluded the rest of the class from being your friend.
Exactly.
And it's more dumb shit. And the worst part about it is you found where there's a psychologist that agrees with it and wants the terminology best friend gone.
It wasn't just a special snowflake. It was a special snowflake who happens to be a child psychiatrist.
Yes. Because it's exclusionary, and then if you're no longer friends and you lose your best friend, and then it's detrimental to the health of a child and the mental health of a child. No, it's not.
I can't tell you how many times I've had students who came in that were mentally distressed because somebody told them that the person sitting in front of them was their best friend and not them.
You know what? Get the fuck over it.
Hey, Rich, you're my best friend.
We can't do that.
I don't give a shit.
We're gonna get sued.
I don't give a fuck if I'm politically incorrect. You're my best fucking friend.
So, but in all honesty, it's like, dude, I could have like 7 or 8 people that I consider my best friends. But because it's not, however many, hold on. Alexa, how many people live in the United States of America?
The population of the United States is about 324 million.
Okay, so because I don't have 324 million best friends, I'm an asshole.
Fuck them.
Is basically what they're saying. Isn't best friend better than butt buddy? Well, yeah, you don't want that terminology running around.
No.
But still.
No.
But still, there's that many people living in the United States, but evidently, according to the psychologist, guess what? We have to be best friends with all of them. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've run into some assholes in my day that I just don't want to have I do not want to have as a friend, let alone a best friend.
No, she's saying that instead of saying the term best friend, we're trying to get them to say close friend.
Yeah, but what happens to the one they're not close to? It's still exclusionary.
Apparently, they don't take the time to think shit through.
No, because if I say you're my close friend, but I don't know this person, so they're not my close friend, well, I've just excluded them from my list.
Fucking pansy-ass liberal snowflakes.
No, there's no way to win with that.
No.
Next, they will take boy and girlfriend away. They shoot up the school. Maybe that's what they're looking to stop.
Oh, God.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, because there was another school shooting. There was another one.
Anyways, so speaking of complete and total fucking shit.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, tainted romaine lettuce has spread from Arizona and is now literally nationwide.
Yeah, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this came out today. For those of you living under a rock that didn't catch it, but yet you watch our show, and this is where you get your news.
To the poor people.
If you have romaine lettuce in your house right now, get the fuck rid of it. Throw it out, destroy it, burn it. Light it on fire.
There's a really, really bad E. coli outbreak concerning romaine
like
lettuce.
He gets his news from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a really bad E. coli outbreak because of the romaine lettuce. More than likely, what's happened is they've gotten people that are unclean that are picking the lettuce, and it's not been washed, before it got sent out. And so, if you go to a restaurant and you get a salad, you ask them if you know there's romaine lettuce in the salad. Tell them, find out, when did y'all get your romaine lettuce? Did you just get it now, or did you get it a day or two ago? Yeah. Because that makes a difference on whether or not you get E. coli.
This is very true.
We're not stretching this.
Well, not only that, but also where'd you get it from?
Yeah,
if you got it from Arizona, you're fucked.
If it came from any kind of distribution centers from Arizona, yeah, don't
make sure it came from upstate New York. You'll be okay.
Yeah, Florida lettuce. You'll be all right.
Even then, I wouldn't trust it.
Just eat iceberg lettuce. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You could fill up on it and still starve to death. Just like the E. coli with the green onions a little while ago.
Yeah, just about same place.
And in case y'all are wondering what are the symptoms to E. coli, Alexa, what is the symptoms for E. coli?
The skill WebMD can help you with that. Did you want to enable it?
No.
All right.
Okay, so never mind. She's not going to tell us about that.
Alexa, what are the possible symptoms of ingesting E. coli?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, so never mind.
Fuck you.
One of these days she's going to turn around and go, no, fuck you.
That'll be awesome.
Okay, so anyway, but E. coli is pretty nasty. It makes you have the shits.
It tears apart your insides.
Basically. It's horrible.
Yes. And you could actually die from it.
Yes, you can die from E. coli. Tell Alexa that.
So, moving on from shitty news.
Well, not entirely, because you could skip and put another story in there involving shit. And we could just stay on the shit train.
No, that's coming out later.
Oh, the shit train's coming out later? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's weird news. Yeah. That's weird news, and we save weird news for last, because weird news is weird.
Alright, so,
nausea, vomiting, diarrhea.
Isn't that the same stuff that Pepto-Bismol takes care of? So the governor of Missouri...
Yes.
...is facing new felony charges of corruption. Missouri is called the Show Me State.
Yes.
But evidently, they're finding out that he should be that he was trying to hide some shit.
Yeah. So apparently, what's going on?
Not sticking with the state motto. One hell of a fucking governor.
Yeah, no shit. So apparently, what's going on? Oh, hey, it's Dark Sun.
Dark Sun.
Yeah. So apparently, what's going on is now the city of Missouri is suing the governor because apparently they're saying that what he did was he set up a charity to go ahead and help, the community and so on and so forth, but was actually a way for him to raise money for his election campaign. So instead of the proceeds of the charity going to the charity itself, he funneled it into his campaign so he can run for re-election.
What an asshole.
You're fucking telling me.
Why can't he just do a bake sale?
Bake sales are great.
They are.
But that's a lot of work, though.
E. coli symptoms: nausea, vomiting, cramps, diarrhea, bloody 100 to 101 fever. What is that? Malaise?
Malaise.
Loss of appetite, mild dehydration. So it'll really fuck your world up.
It's almost as bad as SARS.
Bird flu. But yeah, so anyway, if you say you're raising money for a charity, especially if you're a government official.
Not just a government official, but the head honcho of the fucking state.
Oh. It's a fancy word for discomfort. Yeah, when you're the governor of a state, that is the last position you need to be in where you're funneling money from a charity over to your campaign fund. I mean, obviously your party doesn't even fucking like you if they're not helping you raise the money to get reelected. Because usually your party will handle that.
I've got 4 words for you, asshole.
What?
Quit doing stupid shit!
Yeah, that's 4 words.
I know, I can't hear you.
Oh, did you? Okay. Alright. So yeah, let's move on from that guy.
Yeah.
Hopefully they kick him out of office and he's spending some time in the big house.
So apparently yesterday in Ocala, Florida, there was a school shooting that happened.
In Florida. Go figure.
Go fucking figure. So it happened at Forest High School in Ocala, Florida. And apparently it was a 19-year-old male by the name of Sky Boucher. Sounds like a douche anyways.
Sky Boucher. Is he related to Bobby Boucher?
No.
You sure?
I'm pretty damn sure.
From Jackson Bayou?
Yeah, definitely.
The water sucks?
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Gatorade.
H2O.
Gatorade.
H2O.
So anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. So apparently what's going on was the students of the high school were actually going ahead and doing a protest against gun violence because of Columbine, which happened on 420.
Even though the problem was 19 years ago, Columbine High School massacre happened. The problem was all these kids in these high schools that just did walkouts
weren't even around.
Weren't even alive. In fact, their parents were like thinking about getting it on. So they weren't even like the sperm and the egg hadn't even met yet when Columbine happened.
Fuck no.
And yet they're walking out on the anniversary of Columbine. They're like, hey, I mean, don't get me wrong. People protest other things that happened many, many years ago. Got it. But seriously.
So it was to protest gun violence or anything like that. So this 19-year-old kid who used to be a student there.
People's amendment rights to own a gun. That's all it is.
So this 19-year-old went to the school, actually used to go to the school before, went in there with a short-barreled shotgun, sawed off, went in there and fired a round through a door, which actually ended up hitting a 17-year-old girl.
She survived.
She survived.
She hurts.
Yeah.
But she's alive.
Non-life-threatening injuries that she sustained and so on and so forth.
Why did... Oh, that's Bubba and Tasha.
Yeah, Bubba said, "What's up, guys? Crispy Jr. here."
Right. So, yeah. Why did he go into the school? Did they even say why he went there in the first place? To make a point with a gun?
Well, they asked him why he did it.
All he really did is just enforce why all of them walked out.
Exactly. Well, when they asked him why did he do it, he said, "Well, I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to shoot."
What did you get lost on his way to a joint he was going to rob? I mean, Jesus.
I guess. I don't know. But
Anyways.
anyways.
The wrong exit off the freeway.
But anyways, he is actually facing 8 felony charges.
No shit.
And here's the list of them. Terrorism, aggravated assault with a firearm, culpable negligence, carrying concealed firearm, possession of firearm in school property, possession of short-barreled shotgun, interference in a school function, and armed trespassing on school property.
You, sir, are a dumbass.
This is why you definitely need to beat your kids and save a fucking life.
In the words of Red from that 70s show, dumbass.
Right. Fucking idiot.
Alright, so back to celebrities. This person didn't die. However, according to what they're claiming they're doing, other people have gotten close to death because of this.
Yes. So Allison Mack,
who was the reporter for Smallville,
who played Clark Kent's best friend in the high school. She played Chloe Sullivan.
Yes,
that's who she played. So apparently, she was involved in sex trafficking. She was recruiting, young women and everything like that to this whole, female empowerment thing, which ended up being a ruse for a cult named Neximus.
Yes, it's an S&M cult.
Yeah. So apparently what ended up happening is, they were forced to strip naked. They got branded. They actually got branded. They were used for...
Now, to be specific, the branding, now a lot of people are like, oh, they got branded on the arm, they got branded... No, they got branded right below their vagina on the inside of one of their thighs. Literally, the vag is here and the branding was here. That's how close it was.
Sorry, it's missing some stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there we go. Oh, no. Okay.
Well, I stayed right in order.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can't read that at all.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so the thing is when they interviewed her about this, okay, she did not deny she was in this group.
No, she didn't.
She did not at all, but she has denied that anybody was doing this against their will.
Correct.
That every single person involved was doing this of their own free will, which it's not illegal.
No.
Unless it's illegal in Mexico, because this is where the cult was located.
Yes.
If it's illegal in Mexico, that's a different story. But in the United States, what happens between two consenting adults, with the exception you can't murder another adult if they give you permission to.
Yeah.
However, S&M is not illegal. Well, it's illegal in some states, I will say this.
Yeah, like sodomy is illegal in Alabama.
Well, sodomy is illegal in a lot more states than people think.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well,
so is sex with a goat, but...
That's... Bestiality is actually against the law federally.
Yeah.
It's considered a crime against animals.
It is. It really is.
But anyway, so the thing is but the problem is, it's like a lot of people, because I was reading the comments that followed this story. And a lot of the comments were, well, if everybody's consenting, then why are we arresting her? Because she was arrested.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what are the charges?
Sex trafficking.
And it's sex trafficking. Well, yes, sex trafficking is illegal because the actual act of sex trafficking is kidnapping an individual for the purpose of torturing them and committing sexual acts against their will, basically raping them.
Yeah.
By force.
Well, essentially, the whole reason why they're trying to go ahead and proceed with this is because they're saying, oh, well, we were alluded to something else than what it really was.
And so it's ridiculous that now there's people that do partake in S&M voluntarily. They enjoy it. It's something they love to do. But now they're worried that the feds are just going to show up and start arresting them because they like to be tied up and beaten.
In case you don't know what S&M is, for those of you who are vanilla, it stands for sadism and masochism.
Yes, meaning you get off by pain or you get off inflicting pain on someone.
Yes.
But it's all done. It's supposed to be all done with consenting parties, and there's the safety protocols involved.
Lots of them.
Okay, so it's one of those things. It's a perfectly okay thing for people if that's what they're into.
Yes.
But they got arrested because they got told, oh well, they were doing this to people against their will. Well, so far I've already researched some of this. They've interviewed 3 of the women that were supposedly being starved to death. and got branded. And all three of them go, no, we were doing this voluntarily. All we had to do is say certain things, and it was over, and we're out.
BDSM is the entirety of everything, but there are times where it's just B&D or S&M.
But anyway, so far, like I said, three of them, three of the ones that have been interviewed have stated they did all this of their own free will, and they could have walked out at any point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they enjoyed it. So, and that's the problem is when you have people who are not with the times and are still in the dark ages of what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
Trying to enforce the laws. And it's like, you got to understand with today's day and age, you got to be open-minded about things in order to understand what is and what isn't acceptable.
It's 2018, people.
You almost sounded like you weren't quite sure on the 18 part there.
I got distracted.
Okay, but you've got to understand, that this is a new this world is not the same as it was 40 years ago.
It really wasn't.
Okay, but don't get me wrong, they were doing this kind of shit 40, 50, 60 years ago.
They were just very quiet about it.
It's like some people trying to say that homosexuality is a new thing. Horse shit, it ain't a new thing.
It's just been around since the Chinese.
Gender identity things is not a brand new thing. None of the shit that's going on that's out in public is brand new. It's the only thing that's brand new is it's out in public.
Yes.
That's the only thing that's brand new about it.
Correct.
That all this shit's been going on for a long time behind closed doors.
Yes.
That's the only thing new about it. And the problem is a lot of these people that report these things going on are not with the times, they don't imagine Rich's safe word to be slobber knocker. No, mine is pineapple juice.
Because it'll kill her.
That's my safe word. If I walk in the house and I start getting hit with shit, I have pineapple juice. That means everybody shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
Now I know.
Yeah, there you go. So if I walk in the door of the house, go pineapple juice because y'all coming out. No, that means leave me alone.
Mine is back the fuck off.
Well, okay, that's blunt and to the point. Mine's usually just shut the fuck up. But anyhow.
So moving on.
Well, we need to move on now because we could spend a whole show talking about S&M shit. And we'll lose like what little viewers we have left.
Yeah, no shit. All right, so moving on.
Except Dark Sun.
Yeah. So there's this thing that's been flying around.
And it's not in the room.
It's not in the room. So this actually made headline news a few days back, but it's a really big thing. So apparently a Southwest flight engine failure killed...
Well, it happened this week.
It happened this week. That's what I said a few days ago.
So it's still current.
Yeah, so a Southwest flight had an engine failure which ended up killing one person mid-flight.
Well, and that when you launch parts of the blades out of the front of the intake of the engine,
yes,
and they rotated at a very high rate of speed.
Yes, they do.
And I know one of the companies, I work security for one of the companies that makes them. It's Chromalloy in Nevada makes. In fact, they're the ones that are actually they have the contract for doing the blades for the engines for Air Force One.
Yeah. And
I saw how they do these things, and these things, they're no joke. If they come off, you were talking just absolute shards that just rip through anything.
So apparently there was a stress fracture on one of the blades, which they did, during the investigation.
They did find out.
Yeah. So because the stress fracture on one of the blades, it ended up tearing that blade off, ripping it apart.
And one of the things you got to understand about these engines, the intake wheels that have these blades in them, they're perfectly balanced.
Yes.
Okay, they're perfectly balanced. You lose one and you throw the balance, which causes this thing to vibrate. And at the high rate of RPMs that they're running, any bit of vibration happens because of unbalancing, they detonate. They're a hand grenade.
Yes.
The moment you pull the pin, which is one of the fins coming off, it's only a couple more rotations and they all start shedding.
Oh, yes. So apparently the shards of the blades actually ended up puncturing the actual window.
Yeah, they had 3 punctures in the fuselage.
Yeah, 3 punctures in the fuselage
One went
and
through
one with the window, which broke the window completely. and it literally sucked the woman's head and almost her entire body through the window.
Yes.
And this was on the 14th row of the plane itself. And there was people crowding around her trying to pull her back in and everything like that.
You're not getting her back in.
No, they got her back in.
Well, yeah, how many people did it take? Because one person is not pulling them
No,
back.
it took around about a dozen.
After a little while, one person probably could do it once the pressure starts to stabilize with the outside air.
It's not that her entire body was out. It was like here.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, I mean, we're also talking about an airplane window this fucking big.
Yeah.
Okay? And a person just got sucked out that hole.
So she ended up dying from blunt force trauma to the head, neck, and spine.
No shit.
Yeah. So they're saying, because the plane was flying at 550 miles per hour, that it was instantaneous, so she didn't feel a thing.
It is.
Which is a silver lining.
It is very possible, because I'm pretty sure the puncture that happened through the window didn't break the entire window out.
Correct.
It made the hole large enough to cause a pressurization yank, and then she got shoved right into it.
Yes.
Because
cabins are pressurized.
And that's what caused the blunt force trauma. That she was if she wasn't dead when she got stuck out the window, she didn't know because she was unconscious when she went out it.
Yeah, what they're saying is that the way that she went out was most likely that she was asleep, leaning on the wall because she was in the window seat, which is what most people do when they're flying on planes.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I usually stay awake.
I get freaked out on planes.
I don't.
The only time I've ever fallen asleep on a plane is when that one male steward got me drunk. And then I woke up with his phone number. I passed the fuck out on that plane. I'm not gonna lie. He did too. And somewhere in a box, I still have his phone number. I do. It's a United plane steward. I went to buy my drinks. The only reason why I bought my drinks is because I went to Nevada. Nevada legalized gay marriage.
Yeah.
So I flew out there because I was a certified pastor. I had my license, and I went out and married my two friends.
Yeah.
Crystal and Alexa, and not you.
Alexa, no. Alexa, stop.
She's waiting on a command.
Oh.
So anyway, I did that, and he asked me why I was flying back.
Sorry, your Echo Dot lost its connection.
Oh, okay, cool.
The CIA's listening.
So anyway, they flew me out and flew me back, and when I was flying back, the steward asked me, he goes, "So why are you," when we were leaving San Francisco Airport heading to the East Coast, he's like, "Are you flying for business or pleasure?" I said, "Well, I was already here, and this is what I did," and he thought that was really cool, and he came back and says, "Would you like anything to drink?" I said, "I really love a rum and Coke." And he's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "How much?" Oh, he goes, "No, it's on me." Every time that thing got, I like one thumb width from the bottom of that little ass cup they give you, as soon as it got to one thumb length, he reloaded that bitch. I never had to pay for a drink. I don't remember one. I do not remember anything past the Colorado Rockies. I do remember getting woke up. And when I fell asleep, like I had the whole back row. The whole back row. Nobody was back there. Well, because I had the option on my phone through United, I could change my seats, and I looked up at the screen, and it said, "There's nobody sitting in the back two rows at all. There's nobody back there." And I'm like, I'm going to move my seat to the rear, because that might be by myself. So I sprawled out. I remember sprawling out on the thing. I'm like, okay, I've had enough to drink. I need to sprawl out, right? I woke up, I had 2 pillows under my head, I had a blanket on me, and it was all tucked in. And I mean, I was happy as a clam. I was all like, I woke up, I'm like, this is not how I went to bed. And the first thing I did is I checked my pants. My pants are still on, so we're good. Well, it was one drink, just constantly refilled. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So apparently, Darkson's going to be in New Orleans at the end of July.
Then why don't you get your ass over here?
It's only what, an hour and 45 minutes?
64 miles.
There you go.
To New Orleans.
Come visit, fucker.
Come visit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, moving on. Moving on because we completely shot past the Southwest story.
So anyway,
Oh my God.
here's the thing. Going back to the Southwest story, you know, of course, the pilot definitely deserves, and she's already been given an award for her heroism, which she did an excellent job flying that plane and getting it to the ground as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she literally called saying, "Hey, I need medical staff to be there when we arrive. Yada yada yada. We got this going on." So the people in the tower are like, "Okay, we confirm that you need medical responders. You had this happen to the plane. Is the plane on fire?"
Well, and that's a legitimate question because when one of these things detonates,
Yeah.
usually there's still fuel being pumped into it.
Yeah.
Because the engine systems cause the fuel to be pumped. They're
Yes.
part of that. Their electricity runs off of them.
Yes.
They do a lot of things.
So the pilot literally said, no fire, but we are single engine, and we're taking it, and we'll be going a little slower than what we need. But we'll need this when we get there."
And, you know, got them to the ground. Everybody else fine, survived, no problems.
184 passengers walked away unscathed.
However, I'm going to tell you all this right now. In the next week, they said this today on the news.
Yes.
If any of you are planning on flying anywhere in the next week,
Expect delays.
expect delays because the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, has come out and stated that we need to inspect every single plane that has these engines on them. Okay, now you think, all right, so it's only a couple hundred. No, let's say 30,000 of these engines.
32,000.
32,000 of these engines are out there on planes, both civilian, military, and private. So there's a lot of engines.
Very.
And the thing is they need to inspect them to make sure that they do not have metal fatigue and there's much more hand grenades waiting to go off because the last thing they need is one of these suckers doing this and then, what are you doing? And it takes both engines go down, and then we got a plane that drops out of the sky because the United States has not had a major plane crash in a long time.
Yeah, since, what was it? The Southwest flight that landed in the Potomac. 2009.
That wasn't a Southwest flight.
Yes, it was.
No, Captain, you're talking.
No, it wasn't Southwest.
No, that wasn't Southwest.
No.
And that was that was a Miracle in the Hudson, wasn't it? You were talking about?
Yeah, Hudson River.
Alexa, when was the last plane crash in the United States of America?
Commercial.
I don't know that.
Yeah, okay. She's just as confused as we are.
Alexa, when was the last commercial plane crash in the United States?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Well, fuck
So,
you too.
okay, she's a little lost on that one too. But anyhow, we haven't had one in a while, so we don't exactly need to have more of them.
Exactly.
You know, and these planes put in a lot of work and a lot of stress, and you know, yeah, I would rather our flight system get delayed a little bit to make sure that all the planes we have in the air are going to stay there until we're supposed to land them. So, you know, if you're planning on flying anytime soon in the next week or two, you may encounter delays across the country.
February 2009.
February 2009, flight 3407. Okay. All right, so there we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Cuba.
Yeah, well, I did say 2009. Something 2009, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, moving on
on.
to my favorite, possibly your favorite topic, weird news.
Strange news. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the news that everything gets just out there. It could be bizarre. It could be wacky. It could be downright maddening.
So, this piece actually hits close to home for me. Because this happened in Victorville, California, which is actually where my grandparents had their property.
I've been to Victorville.
Yeah.
Been.
My dad has his ranch in Apple Valley, which is just the next town over.
I didn't go back.
Yeah. Anyways, so apparently in Victorville, 100 to 150 homes have been bombarded and completely covered with tumbleweeds.
Tumbling down the tumbleweed.
Which literally left people unable to get into their homes and get out of their homes. And these aren't, like these small houses. These are, like the KB home houses.
Well, I mean, it's tumbleweed.
Not just a tumbleweed, tumbleweeds.
Get a shovel. Don't move.
Well, unless you have, like 3,000 or 4,000 stacked up on each other. Then,
like the bitches on fire.
When they're piled up on the house.
It solves your problem permanently, but it solves your problem.
Well, hey, make sure you have insurance before you do that. But it got to the point where people were actually calling 911 and emergency services to come out and get them out of the house. Still can't spell my name right. No, they can't. Oh, they're bickering.
Oh, they're bickering back and forth.
Like a married couple.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. Oh, Dark Sun. And your name is spelled maggot.
There we go.
Here we go. Alright, so anyways, moving on to...
As maybe your soon-to-be high speaker, Dark Sun, knock it off.
Oh my god.
Alright, so let's move on to... so folks, you know what my suggestion for that is? Build a fucking fence around the house.
That would be nice.
That would solve a lot of your problems.
Yes, absolutely. So moving on to where your family hails from.
Yes, where does my family hail from again?
Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Yeah, that's...
So apparently there is a castle there was a castle under siege in Scotland.
Yes, unfortunately the Scots were being attacked again. This time not by the English.
This time it was by an animal. Apparently a very angry badger.
Badger.
Mushroom. Apparently a very angry badger seized a part of the Craignathon Castle in Scotland. Apparently it traveled its way from the woods.
Well, that's where badgers live.
Yeah. Surrounding the castle, found its way into one of the tunnels of the castle. And scared the crap out of camera crews.
He was laying siege.
Yes. So apparently he burrowed under, the stones and left a huge fucking mess and everything like that. They tried fruit, they tried nuts, they tried peanuts, they tried peanut butter to get him out, everything like that. But guess what lured it away?
What?
Fucking cat food.
Of course. It's Scotland. Shit, people don't eat what people... Things do not eat what those things should eat in Scotland.
Of course.
I mean, come on. For Christ's sakes. Haggis.
Haggis.
Yeah. I mean, so a badger that eats cat food. Not a shocker. Okay? Just not a shocker. It's fucking Scotland. Nothing makes sense there.
Now, moving to South America. So we're going from one side of the pond to the other.
Kind of. We went across the pond, now we came home. Yes. South America's south.
Yeah. Well,
south of the river that we made and put a canal and thing in there.
Well, it's across the pond from Scotland.
It is.
Yeah. This is what I was getting at.
Southwest of that pond.
Yeah, same shit.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it could be southeast if you go the other way.
But that's over to a bunch of different ponds.
But still.
And a landmass.
But still, it's across the pond.
It could be. I mean, if you take the Mars route, where you go out to Mars, around Mars, and come back, then there's a whole lot of ponds involved.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. I mean, unless the Earth was flat, but no, it's spherical.
Yes.
Anyways. So apparently, 8 officers in Pilar, Argentina, got fired after 1,000 pounds of marijuana went missing.
It just disappeared. Gone.
Just disappeared.
Had nothing to do with 420.
Where'd it go? Where?
Who's got it?
Who? Apparently stoner mice got to it.
Yes.
At least that's what their excuse was.
It wasn't Johnny Chimpo?
No, it was not Johnny Chimpo.
Okay.
No, so apparently they're all like, yeah, right. Okay, stoner mice. They actually did an investigation on this. Of course, it's 1,000 pounds of marijuana.
The 1,000 pounds of marijuana does not get up and walk off on its own.
But they actually started talking to a few universities in the U.S. who actually did clinical trials with mice when it came to drugs.
Okay.
And, you know, the officers were like, oh, well, they probably mistook it for food and yada, yada, yada. So the universities are like, no, that cannot happen whatsoever because mice know the differences between marijuana and food. And even then, mice ingesting any amount of marijuana will kill them immediately.
Yes.
Because of the chemicals in marijuana and
so somebody has walked off with 1,000 pounds of marijuana.
Yeah. So they're like, look, if it was mice and a whole group of mice ate 1,000 pounds of marijuana, you would see a shit ton of dead marijuana-laced carcasses.
Yep.
But there's none to be found.
No.
So they're like,
where was Tommy Chong when this happened?
I don't know. Or Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
Where were they?
This could be another Up in Smoke 2. Up in Smoke 2.
Rodos. They turned into a van.
Right? They hated a van and it was their getaway.
Yeah, no shit.
So, but yeah, so, 1,000 pounds of marijuana just doesn't get up and walk away. Somebody knows where the hell that went.
Yeah, no shit.
Somebody confiscated it for their own distributional purposes.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if they split the money evenly, they probably made a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, you get half a ton of marijuana.
Yeah, no fucking
shit. It's a lot of marijuana.
Yes, it is.
All right.
So, moving on to our next story. You want to take this one?
Is this the poop train?
No, this is the Black Panther one.
Oh. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, I'm sorry. I have to lean forward. Black Panther movie fans prank the city of
Wakanda,
Illinois with vibranium requests.
So, those of you who have seen Black Panther, which we have not yet.
We have not.
So, apparently, what the city of Wakanda, which is predominantly where Black Panther is from.
Yes.
You know, the mythical city of Wakanda. Their biggest export is vibranium, which is the same shit that Captain America's shield is made out of.
Yes.
So, apparently a bunch of fans were all like, oh, hey, this is going to be hilarious because their name sounds almost exactly like the mythical city in Black Panther. So they decided to go ahead and troll the city itself, where they actually ended up calling, the assistant to the mayor of the city of Wakanda, the undersecretary, and a bunch of other city officials putting in requests for vibranium, even though that Wakanda, Illinois is known as the Bog Preserve.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous. And you're over there dropping shit.
Hey, the studio's falling apart already.
The sky is falling.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I don't think we can go anywhere else with that one.
Not really. Although I will say it is funny to find out when you guys when a trolling goes well.
Yeah, and
I still think my favorite trolling of all time is when everybody kept calling the pawn shop from Pawn Stars in Las Vegas asking for copies, wanting a copy of Battletoads. I thought that was hilarious. Poor Rick was ready to rage quit life.
Oh, I bet.
You know, that was if you ever want to see trolling in its absolute finest, just Google Battletoads with I forgot what they call that, what the name of the store is actually called in Las Vegas, but with the Pawn Stars, it is fucking hilarious.
It's almost as bad as was it a bunch of people who were Breaking Bad fans who actually went to the house in Arizona that it was filmed and started throwing pizzas on the roof.
Oh, and how about when people decided to troll Cracker Barrel because they supposedly fired Carl's wife?
Yeah, Carl's wife.
Yes. You know,
justice for Carl's wife.
Justice for Carl's wife. You know, She was the greatest waitress of all time. There's a couple of them out there that are just absolutely phenomenal trolling. Then there's some really dumb ones.
But honestly, I think the best troll is Wendy's.
Sometimes though, you gotta. I love when the people getting trolled decide to finally throw customer service out the window and start responding as jackasses. Okay. Employees, 9,000 minus Carl's wife, right? In fact, I think when Unmod was still a thing, somebody brought that link up to check that troll out, and it was Carl's wife. Some guy called them about the original Charizard's TCG, the Pawn Star. Yeah, well, they had the big one was the Battletoads one.
Yeah.
Because there's some audio too.
Yes.
Where somebody recorded one of the phone calls to them, and he's like, "I so help me God, if this is about Battletoads." Well, what's Battletoads? Oh, it's some kind of fucking video game. Anyway, what you need? Oh, do you have flat screen TVs? Well, yeah, we do. What size you looking for? He's like, I was looking for something really big that made my Battletoads game look awesome. And he's like, fuck you, and hung up on him. It was awesome. Because, I mean, man, you got to understand that pawn shop runs 24 hours a day.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, unfortunately, this started, I think it's like 9 o'clock at night.
Gold and Silver Pawn, that's the name of the shop.
But yeah, it went nuts. But yeah, if you ever want to watch some trolling at its finest, just Google that story, and just watch it, or just go through it. It's nuts.
Yes.
How much it took, what it did. It was great. It was great. It actually made it was awesome. But anyway, let's move on from that.
Yes. So apparently, a dog in Southwick, Massachusetts, starts a house fire over some fucking pancakes.
Okay, first of all, the fact that this came out of Southwick, Massachusetts. Everybody in the community knew about this immediately because there's nothing to do in Southwick, Massachusetts.
So apparently, what ended up happening is that there was, and it actually showed on the house video itself. Because they have, like camera sensors and anything like that for an alarm system for their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, there was one of the golden retrievers. You see it go up right by the stove. Because apparently there were some leftover pancakes left on the counter. Well, as it went up, it accidentally hit the dial for the stove, turned it on, and you see flames erupt because it shot that bitch on high. I guess the gas built up, and then the pilot caught it.
Yeah.
Started a house fire, and it ran. And then also, of course, they got the alert because the dogs are going crazy, because they have to. The alarm system kicked it up, and they got there. And apparently, the fire department got there in time to go ahead and knock out the fire pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
But having a dog start a fucking fire over some fucking food. I guess the dog got pissed off because pancakes were fucking cold and stale.
Yeah, he wanted to heat his pancakes up. Who eats cold pancakes?
Exactly. Well, I do sometimes.
I mean, if you get like some sausage, you roll it up.
Yeah, pigs in the blanket.
It works. It works that way.
Some maple syrup.
So, So, don't leave food on your oven if the knobs can be turned that easily.
Yeah.
That's the moral of that story.
Now, moving on to the story that you've been waiting to go ahead and tell.
The poop train.
The poop chew.
So anyway, Alabama's poop train finally moved after 2 months.
So apparently there was a train car that was sitting for 2 months.
Filled with raw sewage.
Right next to the junior baseball field.
After a while, that train started reeking. Because at first, I'm sure when they first brought it in, it didn't smell bad. But then it set.
And then it stewed in the sun.
And it doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees outside. If the sun is hitting the side of that tank, it's going to get hot. There was some shit cooking over there.
Honestly,
if you smell what the Rock is cooking,
definitely ain't that shit.
Right? I mean it.
But just hearing about it,
I like the fact that they just put it over there and left it.
It just kicks up, some memories of.
Not sure we want to go down this road.
Pouring diesel into shit cans and stirring it.
I didn't have that problem.
I did.
You had to do that in the Army, didn't you?
Yes.
I never did.
Well, you were off doing other things.
I will say that I did follow the Woody Woodchuck manual on how to dig a hole so you could poop. I did do that. But I never had to clean latrine.
But it was just the smell of it. Just oh. Huh?
It's not waterboarding if you use diesel.
It's not.
Just saying. Some advice there for you.
Yeah,
but
no
I
shit.
never had to do that. You're the only person I've ever talked to that ever had to do that shit.
Consider yourself fucking lucky.
Did I know somebody that's done it? That's not really luck. That's unfortunate.
No, that you didn't have to do it.
Nope. Anytime, even when I went to Fort Hood and was with a unit that couldn't get deployed anywhere, then we went out to the field and just broke shit. They brought porta-johns out. We had to camouflage the porta-johns.
Well, yeah,
but we brought out porta-johns.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, bringing out porta-johns and then having, a 50-gallon drum under a makeshift outhouse. That's a little different.
Yeah.
To where it can't get sucked out.
You ever made commo people do that shit because they wanted the radios to work? You make us go clean up a bunch of shit, you're going to find out real fast how pissed off we get and what happens to you when you make us mad.
Why is my radio not working?
Well, the commo people decided they were on break permanently because you made them clean shit, sir.
Son of a bitch.
Like 3 people you don't fuck with in the Army. Don't fuck with the cooks. Don't fuck with the medics. Don't fuck with the commo people.
You also don't want to fuck with the FOs either.
Well,
Because if you fuck with us, we're going to fuck with you right back.
The military's figured out how to kill people before without a guy out there saying, shoot there. They figured that out before. I mean, World War II.
But think of it this way.
They were able to put the loud shit on the enemy shit,
Yeah. But think of it this way. FOs, we're stuck by ourselves on top of a hill or a mountain for a long period of time with nothing better to do than come up with ways to fuck with people.
But anyway, so eventually they did move that train.
They moved it today.
Finally.
After 2 fucking months.
Yeah, watch out. That train is coming through.
Choo choo. I mean, poo poo.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our last story that we have. Apparently, there was a dog in England. This couple apparently got really sick. They went ahead, took it to the vet. Did ultrasound, all that stuff, and they found a mass by the spleen.
Yes, and they figured it was cancer.
Yeah. So
they were getting ready to put old Fufu to sleep because
no.
They were not
to sleep. Not to sleep. They're going to go ahead and do the surgery.
They're going to remove the tumor.
So they went ahead, put the dog under, cut her open.
They found out real quick.
It wasn't cancer.
Surprise!
Apparently, what was thought to be cancer was actually teddy bears.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yes, fucking teddy bears. Small little teddy bears that were originally the couple's Chihuahua's little dog toys. That dog...
The bigger dog decided that he wanted to eat it.
Yeah. And it got lodged by the spleen. But apparently the dog is recovering very well. It has gotten its youth back, all of its energy, and is running around like...
Well, they removed the blockage.
Yeah, they did. I mean, honestly, they could have given him some Maalox. It would have gotten out.
And evidently it wouldn't have because they went in and they... I don't think it would have. It probably was there for a day or two. It wasn't going anywhere.
Did they try?
I don't think they figured they had the time to try.
Yeah, like Beanie Baby size.
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like Beanie Baby size.
So that's going to go ahead and do it for our news stories and everything like that. But before we go ahead and close out, we do want to say that we still need to come up with another 15 subscribers.
Yes, we're still going to give away. We're still going to give away a brand new Toyota.
Yes. Because right now we are currently 14. Last I saw we were at 85. I guess we got
another one.
Cool. So once we go ahead and get another 14 subscribers, we'll go ahead and hit 100 subscribers on this channel. We'll be giving away a brand new Toyota. On top of that, we'll also be able to get a personalized URL.
So that way I no longer have to tell you on my Facebook page to search Raj and Rich on YouTube.
You can just go to Yamish Presents.
No, that's not going to be the damn URL. Damn. It's going to be Raj and Rich show.
Okay.
So there you go. So we only need 14 more.
14 more.
Giving away something and we get something in return, and then it becomes a whole lot easier.
Hey, it's quid pro quo.
What do we get if we get to 200 subscribers? Do we get anything?
No. What it is, it's 100, and then once we hit 1,000.
Oh, Jesus.
Once we hit 1,000 subscribers,
then
we can go ahead and do advertising and get paid.
Yeah, we're going to end up needing to get, like sponsors and shit.
And if we get paid and everything like that, then we can go ahead and get better equipment, we can do better visuals, and all that stuff.
Pretty much, yes.
No, it's not Raj and Rich Show presents Yamish Presents. It's either Raj and Rich or it's Yamish Presents.
There you go.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi. So, by the way, folks, there is still one thing I do want to cover. Something on a personal note. One of our early fans of the show, Bubba and Natasha and their family. Recently, they were awoken to a really bad fire. They had a fire in their house. Their washing machine caught on fire. It caused a lot of damage, stuff like that. Any help that you guys can give them, please, by all means, do. A lot of people have reached out to try and help them. A lot of people have helped them. There's still more that needs to be done. So I know all of our fans and stuff like that watch the show, please. Reach out to them and help them any way possible with anything that they need. And it's not just financial. It can be a lot of things. Anything that you can do to help, even if it's just being there for them, because it's a very scary thing to wake up to your house is burning to the fucking ground. Kind of thing. And luckily enough, Bubba threw caution to the wind and injured himself in the process, but was able to get the fire out, save his family.
Their daughter almost got trapped.
So please, if there's anything you do for them, reach out, ask them if there's anything they need. Please help them out as much as you can. Unfortunately, though, they're dealing with a major corporation, that's going to try to do everything it could possibly do to stall.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they have to give out settlements, that means they're acknowledging guilt. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to do that if they don't have to.
Absolutely.
But if there's anything they need, please reach out to them, ask them if there's anything they need, and, do what you can. Any of our fans of our show, run into any situations like that, stuff like that, we will more than willing to give our our platform the opportunity for you guys to get the information out there and get people all the help we could possibly need. So there you go.
Oh yeah, and Josh too. One of the amp guarders,
Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando's son Josh just recently went through surgery.
Did he actually have the surgery today, or is he still going through the treatments for the infection?
I believe it was the surgery already happened. Sherry's been following up on it, and she's been giving me.
Did he have the surgery, or is he still undergoing the antibiotics? Because I know he was supposed to go in for the surgery, and then they found out he had an infection, and they needed to treat the infection first before they could do the surgery.
That I didn't know.
And so they're trying to cover the infection before they go in and do the surgery.
Take out today.
Okay. Yeah, so keep Fernando and
Josh
in their prayers. You know, if you've ever run into Josh, is a cool kid. Very sweetheart kid. Awesome kid. Keep them in your prayers as well. They're fans of our show as well.
Yes.
So keep them also in your prayers out there. So I think that's all we have for the show. We've gone an hour and a half.
We have. So,
which is shorter than usual.
Yeah,
usually we go like 2 hours.
It's about average from when we first started, and it's about average.
Yeah.
So
I think our shows will probably be shortened up too because you can't smoke in the house, so we can't smoke in the studio.
Yeah, that's true.
So by the time you get into about an hour to an hour and a half in, starting to get the jitters.
Yeah. But we'll go and keep you updated when we go ahead and do another show. It might be a while.
Yes, because you are...
Yeah, because I am going back into treatment starting Monday.
Yep.
And they're planning on going completely aggressive with it, so it's looking like possibly I'll be doing it weekly.
Yeah.
Most likely. So that's going to keep me out for a little while. But, if they dope me up and give me some really good drugs, then hey, I might even be able to recover by Saturday and be able to do more shows and get back to cooking in the kitchen, because, I fucking love my kitchen.
There you go. So
but we'll play it by ear and we'll let you guys know what's going on and go from there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us for R&R, the Raj and Rich Show. I am Raj.
And I'm Rich.
And we will see you later.
Hey, Alexa, say goodbye.
Goodbye.